Before you open your eyes, say this: the day will obey your voice. Before you even open your eyes, the day is already trying to speak to you. Before the first thought is formed, invisible forces are already vying for direction. Before the body moves, the spirit needs to take command. There is a silent battle that takes place the moment you wake up. It's not noise, it's not external chaos. It is a subtle attack against your clarity, against your authority, against your spiritual awareness. That's why this moment matters. Not after coffee, not after the cell phone. Now, the word declares, "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning I present my prayer to you, and wait expectantly." Psalm 5:3. This is not poetry, it's spiritual strategy. Whoever speaks first governs. Whoever declares first establishes. Those who align themselves before reacting are not led by the day, they lead the day. Father, at this very moment, before any distraction, I position myself. Before opening my natural eyes, I awaken the eyes of the Spirit. Before allowing the weight of yesterday or the anxiety of today to speak to me, I choose to speak to you. Today, I don't wake up spiritually behind schedule. Today, I don't go into the day unprepared. Today, I wake up with awareness. The word says, "Awake, my glory. Awake, harp and lyre. I will awaken the dawn." Psalm 57:8. This means there's something inside me that needs to wake up before the world does. I don't just awaken the body. I awaken faith. I awaken authority. I awaken trust in the God who sustains all things. For the Lord's mercies did not fail during the night. They renewed themselves. They are available now. The Lord's mercies are the reason we are not consumed. They are new every morning. Lamentations 3:22-23. This means that today does not begin tainted by yesterday's mistake. It doesn't begin marked by fear. It doesn't begin under condemnation. This day starts clean. This day begins with enough grace. This day begins with adequate spiritual provision. Therefore, I reject all silent oppression that attempts to take hold at dawn. I reject nameless weight. I reject fatigue that is not physical. I reject the mental confusion that tries to steal direction early on. I refuse to wake up already defeated. I refuse to start the day in survival mode. I refuse to react to the day as someone without spiritual guidance. The word commands, "Awake, awake, put on strength." Isaiah 52:1. It's not a request, it's a call. So today I dress myself in strength, not from my limited strength, but from the strength that comes from the Lord. I declare that my mind is aligned, my heart is steadfast, my spirit is sensitive. I am not driven by my feelings. I am guided by what I believe, and I believe that this day answers the voice of those who pray. Before I open my eyes, I surrender this day. I hand over the decisions that I don't yet know about. I'm delivering the conversations that haven't happened yet. I hand over the challenges that have not yet revealed themselves. Nothing surprises me because God is already in control. Nothing controls me because I don't walk alone. Nothing paralyzes me because the Lord is the one who sustains me. I don't start my day trying to solve everything. I start my day by positioning myself correctly. May my first thought not be worry, but alignment. May my first thought not be haste, but confidence. May my first action not be reaction, but surrender. Today I choose to watch and pray. Like Nehemiah, who kept watch with a sword in his hand. Like Daniel, who prayed even under pressure. Like Jesus, who sought the Father before confronting crowds. I don't underestimate this moment, because what is decided here resonates throughout the entire day. Father, you have guided my thoughts from the beginning. Guard my mouth so that I may speak of life. Guide my steps so that I do not waste energy on what does not come from you. I am not declaring an absence of problems. I declare the presence of God, and that changes everything. May this day hear the voice of someone who is aligned. May this day acknowledge spiritual authority. May this day be guided by purpose, not by chance. Before I even open my eyes, I'm already standing upright in spirit. Before I even get out of bed, I position myself in the kingdom. Before the world tries to lead me astray, I declare, this day belongs to the Lord. Today, I am not pushed by circumstances. Today, I walk with direction. Today, I'm starting off right. There is a spiritual pattern that runs throughout all of Scripture. Men and women who lived through decisive days never started the day reacting. They started out in position. The day never caught them by surprise, because they had already presented themselves before God. change his stance out of fear. He did not compromise his faith under pressure. Daniel didn't try to save the day by reacting to the crisis. He sustained the day by standing before God. Joshua, faced with an impossible mission, did not receive a military strategy first. He received spiritual instruction to be strong, to be courageous, and not to stray from the word. The conquest of the land began in aligned hearts, not on the battlefield. David also understood this principle. Before taking up the sword, he strengthened his soul in the Lord. Before confronting external giants, he managed internal conflicts. David did not wait for the day to crush him before seeking refuge. He was seeking refuge in order to face the day. These men were not special because they lacked problems. They were aware of a spiritual truth. Whoever governs the beginning influences the outcome. Therefore, today you don't start out as someone improvising faith. You begin as someone following a tried, lived, and approved biblical pattern. You're not just repeating words. You are aligning yourself with a spiritual heritage. Just as Jesus sought the Father before the crowd, just as Daniel maintained his spiritual discipline despite the threat, just as Joshua advanced, sustained by the word, just as David strengthened his soul before the war, you also choose to start your day in the right place. The day doesn't demand perfection. The day responds to positioning. Today you don't need to know everything that's going to happen. You need to know who's in charge while it's happening. And when the day tries to impose rhythm, pressure, or confusion, he will find someone who has already spoken with God, someone who has already aligned themselves, someone who is not spiritually backward. This is a secret that has been passed down through generations. It's not about the volume of words, it is a spiritual priority. Before the decisions, God. Before reactions, God. Before the battles, God. Those who live like this don't eliminate challenges, but goes through the day with quiet authority, with clear discernment, with a steadfast heart, and that changes everything. There comes a point when prayer ceases to be merely devotion, and it becomes a conscious spiritual positioning. Here it is, after aligning, after understanding the biblical pattern. Now, you enter the day knowing how to navigate it. The word declares, "Commit your ways to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established." Proverbs 16:3. This reveals a profound truth. When the paths are revealed, the mind finds stability. Today, you don't start by trying to control everything. You start by giving everything away. This is not passivity, it is spiritual government. You understand that some decisions will require wisdom, conversations that will require balance, situations that will test your patience, moments that will challenge your faith. But you don't get into these situations alone, you walk in line. Job declared, "You will decree a thing and it will stand." Job 22:28. This is not human presumption. It is a consequence of a life positioned before God. Therefore today you don't determine outcomes. You determine the posture. You decide that you will not walk guided by fear. You will not be held responsible for the flesh. That he will not make decisions under emotional pressure. You determine that your voice will be weighed. May your steps be firm. That your choices will be conscious. And the day begins to respond to that. The word says that the light breaks forth like the dawn. It doesn't explode all at once. It advances steadily, progressively, and safely. So too will your day be. Not in a hurry, not confusing, but progressive. You don't need to see everything clearly right now. You just need to take the next step in alignment. Today, you recognize limits. Acknowledges dependency. He acknowledges that strength comes from the Lord. And that's exactly what makes you stronger. This is the day the Lord has made. Not for anxiety, not for overload, but to walk with awareness. You don't come here today to prove your worth. You join to live a life of purpose. When thoughts try to race ahead of time, do you remember? I surrendered my ways. When emotions try to dominate decisions, you remember, I'm aligned. When the external rhythm tries to accelerate your inner self, do you remember? This day answers the voice of those who pray. You don't need to raise your voice to be heard. You need to be in the right place, spiritually, and you are. Today, you walk attentively, not vigilant out of fear, but conscious through discernment. You observe before you react. You pray before you decide. Listen before you respond. This won't slow you down. This protects you. You don't live this day on autopilot. You live with spiritual intent. Every step matters. Every choice has an echo. Every attitude builds something. Even if the day brings challenges, they don't find someone who is lost, but someone who is aligned. someone who started off right, someone who delivered early, someone who decided not to be led by circumstances. Today, you're not chasing after the day. The day adjusts to your posture. Now stop for a moment. Before continuing, reflect honestly. When you wake up, who usually speaks to you first? Is it anxiety, reminding you what's missing? Is it the pressure anticipating problems that haven't even arrived yet? Is it the past trying to collect what has already been given? Or is it God aligning your heart before the world tries to lead? This question is not an accusation, it's awareness. Because many people even pray, but they're already tired when they start. They are already reacting when they should be governing. They're already running when they should be lining up. The Word calls us to persevere in prayer, not as a ritual, but as a stance. To persevere is not to insist out of fear. It's about staying out of conviction. Hebrews says that we run the race with perseverance. This means that faith is not lived out in emotional outbursts, but through daily, silent, and consistent decisions. And the most important one happens right after waking up. Today, you did something different. You didn't immediately surrender your mind to the flow of the day. You didn't jump straight into the demands. You chose to stop. He chose to align himself. He chose to listen before responding. This is already a spiritual advancement. Now let me ask you something directly. Not to embarrass, but to awaken. How many times have you started important days without starting with God? How many times have you tried to be strong without first aligning yourself? How many times have you faced battles exhausted because you entered them out of sorts? This prayer is not about momentary emotion. It's about building a standard. Because what do you practice in the morning defines how you react in the afternoon. And how do you end up at night? If you want more mindful days, no need for new formulas. It requires consistency. Perhaps you're listening to this and thinking, I want to live like this, but I can't always maintain it. And it's perfectly fine to acknowledge that. True faith is not born from perfection, but from the decision to always return to the right place. That's why this moment matters. And that is why people choose to do this type of prayer. A daily habit, a spiritual anchor, a turning point, not out of obligation, but out of spiritual necessity. If this prayer is speaking to you, if these words are organizing something from the inside, it's a sign that your spirit responds when it's nourished. And to remain connected to that type of content, it's a practical way to protect your spiritual routine amidst such noisy days. Not to depend on someone else, but to be reminded daily who controls your life. Before we move on to the final prayer, keep this in your heart. The day doesn't require you to be perfect. It requires you to be in position. And you are. Father, now, consciously, I place this day before you, not as someone desperate for answers, but as someone aligned with your will. I recognize that this day did not come about by chance. He was allowed. He was supported. It exists within your government. Before any situation can even arise, I place myself under your guidance. Before any words try to hurt me, I choose to guard my heart. Before any pressure tries to control me, I submit to your peace. I don't pray to run away from challenges. I pray to navigate them with wisdom. I don't pray to control the future. I pray to walk faithfully in the present. Your word declares that no weapon forged will prosper. This does not mean an absence of confrontations. It means they won't have the final say. Today I do not ignore reality, but I also don't succumb to fear. I recognize human limitations, but I trust in your daily sustenance. Fill my mind with clarity. Keep my emotions free from excess. Align my words so that they don't create unnecessary burden. Guide my steps so that I do not waste energy with what does not come from you. If this day brings difficult decisions, grants discernment. If it involves long waits, it grants perseverance. If it brings confrontation, grants its own domain. I don't walk relying solely on my own strength. I walk sustained by your presence. May my posture reveal faith. May my choices reflect maturity. May my reactions reveal spiritual alignment. I do not claim absolute control. I declare conscious dependence. If there are moments of silence, that I may learn to wait. If there are open doors, may I enter with humility. If there are closed doors, that I may learn to trust without complaining. I surrender this day completely. I deliver what I understand, and that's what I still don't understand. I deliver what is clear, and what is still confusing. I trust that you guide my steps. I trust that you will sustain my path. I trust that, even in the unseen details, you are present. Today, I am not governed by anxiety. I am not driven by fear. I am not driven by haste. Today, I walk with awareness. I walk with faith. I walk a path of spiritual responsibility. That at the end of this day, I can acknowledge that I have walked with integrity, that I preserved my heart, that I kept the faith, and that I did not abandon the alignment point. I don't make empty promises. I make a sincere delivery. This day is in your hands. My life is under your care. My heart rests in your faithfulness. Amen.